It is plant review time. Today we're going to review those plants that were purchased in the spring. And there are 13 plants, and I wanted to review them with you so you can make your own decision whether you want to buy these plants or not. I will put them in 3 different categories. Yes, I will buy or plant them again. Maybe I will or will not. And the last one is a definite no. I will not buy or plant them again. So before we get started, I do want to say that there are different factors that go into gardening depending on your soil type, your planting conditions, and all that. The way that they are growing, the way that they are flowering, or the way that they look in general here in my garden may not be the same in your garden, so please keep that in mind. But these plants will give you a good indication of whether you should add them to your garden or not. So with that, let's go ahead and get started on the 13 plants. I do have a list with me in case I forget, just because they are scattered in various parts of the garden spaces. To make it easier, there are only 2 no's, so we'll start with the no's first and then we'll go from there. So let's start off with our first no. Unfortunately, the first no for me is going to be this Cutleaf Coneflower. So the seed heads look so fun though, look at that. I love the foliage, of course now the seed heads. Don't think I want to grow it again just because it tends to flop. So with this one right here, you can see that it's getting the support from the daylilies. Actually, this is an iris. Here is one where I am using the winterberry holly as a support, so it does not look bad at all. So anyway, unless you have something to support it, it's not going to be, you know, pretty sturdy on its own. It could be because this is the first year that I've grown it too. Look at that one. That one has no support at all. So it's just leaning. So if you love the foliage and you love the blooms and now the seed heads, and you have lots of supporting plants all around, or your garden is very packed in, you can definitely grow this and it's going to have the support that it needs. But anyway, the other reason why I don't think I want to grow it, because I've heard that it reseeds pretty readily. If you have a densely packed garden, usually seeds will have to compete with one another, so you might not get it looking very seedy for you. But in my garden here, because it's still kind of bare for a good chunk of it, I would say half of it is not filled in yet. Because of that, yes, I may have to have issues with seeds just spreading out of control. But the good thing is that I'm going to let some of these go to seed and do their thing, and we'll see how they do. So even if I don't want to grow them again, I'm pretty sure they are going to be here next year, and I will just see like how I could support them better, or just transplant them to an area where they could be supported. The next plant I will not be growing again is this Kalanchoe. It is marketed as a low maintenance plant, so stating that, you know, anybody can grow it if they don't have a green thumb and all that. But here's what's going to happen. Since it has been here, it has not done any better. It went from blooming, you know, in the beginning. I bought it when it was already blooming, and it never looked better than before. It just kind of deteriorated over time, and this is what it looks like in fall. And I did not do anything to it but water it when, you know, I thought that it would need the watering. It's in the original container. So anyway, this is a definite no for me. I could see that it may do better like on a porch, you know, somewhere more protected. This gets full sun. But anyway, I don't think it's stated that it's a plant that you can just have on the porch, for example. But anyway, this is a definite plant that I do not want to grow again or purchase again. But I will, since I have it here, I will do a refresh on it and see what happens. All right, now we are moving into the maybe category, and there are 4 plants in this category. So let's go ahead and get started. The first maybe plant is this geranium. When it does bloom, it is beautiful. I love the color of the blooms and the foliage. I love that too. The only reason why this is in a maybe is because it has not put on any good growth. The first time that I planted geranium, it was planted in the ground and it did so beautifully. So I think it's because it's in a container, and then I'm pretty sure I'm not giving it all the nutrients that it needs. So this is something that is on my part. So if I were to grow this again, I would grow it in the ground and see. But I'm not sure if if I want to buy this again. Not just this, but any geranium at all. But I do love the color of the blooms. Here's another one. I believe I divided one plant into 2, so you can see that you have the blooms here that have already died back or off, and then you'll get these. So that's the other reason why I don't like it. It's like the blooms don't bloom all at once. So you'll get something like this, and these are just going to get more brown, and then you'll get these other blooms opening, or these other buds opening up. So that is a reason why it's a maybe too. All right, the next maybe is this Dianthus. Here's a tag for it. So I divided this plant into 2, and I'm not sure if that set it back. The other one that I had it in a different container, it bloomed, I think, once. And when I say once, it was just one bloom. And I think I had one bloom here, or yeah, maybe one bloom. So I don't think there were more than 2 blooms. So that is unfortunate. But look at the foliage. I love this, bluish green foliage to the Dianthus. So anyway, I'm not sure if I want to buy this again or plant this again, but I'm definitely going to plant whatever I have here. So with this, it could get leggy, so it might not look good after a while. It might need a refresh, and I don't know too much about Dianthuses anyway to make them look good. But anyway, if you love the blue-green foliage, which I do, this is something that you might want to have in your garden. This is part of the American Pie series, and I believe this is cherry. And this is what I mean. This is blue-green also, but look at the bottom. You see that? So this is why I was saying that I don't think I want to grow that one that you just saw earlier, because it could look like this. I am pretty sure I'm not doing a good job with that. But, I'm a low maintenance gardener, and if it takes too much work, like here, I don't know. So I'm just going to cut this back and see what it will do for next year. But this was allowed to stay from the previous year. It is an evergreen here, tender evergreen. So it might be a plant that, you know, you need to cut back like it's a perennial, and it'll get nice new growth for next year. So I'm going to do that this year and see what happens. All right, the next plant is this eucalyptus, and the plant is on the front porch right now. So, you know, you can never go wrong with eucalyptus, right? It's so beautiful, just like the one you see here. I did harvest a few times, just, you know, cut some branches off. So why is this in the maybe category? Well, it's because it needs more water than I thought it would need. This one seems to be more drying. Often it could be the container is not big enough, so that could be a factor too. Actually, I know that that's a factor. And the other reason is because I actually like the firmer or the dollar shape or the silver drop shape of the other eucalyptus versus this one. I think most people don't even know it's a eucalyptus actually. All right, so the last maybe plant is this Narrowleaf Sunflower in the back of me here. It is looking beautiful right now. Look at the beautiful blooms. I have been waiting for this plant so I could do this review. Kept waiting to see when it was going to bloom. So it finally did, I would say maybe a few days ago. So another name for this is Coreopsis. So it does look like the Coreopsis blooms that I do have. Unlike that Coreopsis, this one is ginormous, and I guess that's why they call it a narrowleaf sunflower. So anyway, it is anywhere from 4 feet all the way up to like 10 feet, at least 10 feet from what I can tell. It is so prolific right here. You can see so many blooms and more blooms to come. What that means is if you have so many blooms, you're going to produce so many seeds. And that is one of the reasons why I'm not sure if this is a plant that I want to grow again, because I have heard that it can reseed very readily, and you can see so many blooms right now, and there are more to come. And I also heard that it spreads by an underground runner, like a rhizome. All right, so I see one main stem with lateral branches. So far, I have not noticed it popping up anywhere else, but it is the first year. But look how big the stem is. Pretty big for its first year. Now, I actually wanted to buy this plant because I know of one plant in the garden that I volunteer at, and it does not spread by a rhizome. It just does what this plant is doing, more like in a clumping situation. So because of that, that's why I wanted to try it out, because I also, with that other plant, I have not noticed that it was reseeding anywhere else besides where it is. When you don't know certain things about certain plants, it's always good to see it for yourself and to try growing it for yourself. So I'm gonna try to grow this and see what happens next year. That will be a good indication of the production habit of this plant, or the reproduction habit of this plant. But for now, I'm going to enjoy this and see what happens. And I'm not sure if I'm gonna buy it again, but we'll see. We'll see how this one does. So if you do not mind having this plant and have it filled up your garden spaces, then this may be a great plant for you to have, because it is definitely making a statement in the back. All right, now we are ready to look at the plants that I will buy again or plant again. And there are 7 in this category. So we'll start off with the yarrow. Here is the yarrow plant tag. I have not done anything special to this plant except water it sometimes. And it has put on some growth. I wanted to buy this plant because it attracts ladybugs. I have not inspected this plant very carefully to see if there were any ladybugs here at all. I am not seeing it right now. So here's the thing that was interesting about this plant. The blooms, they last for a long time and they look so beautiful with, in an arrangement. If nothing else, you can buy this for flower arrangements. So that was something that I did not realize that it could do beautifully. So that is a plus. So now I have this plant as a ladybug attractor and also as a flower arrangement item. And look at the foliage is definitely different than most of the other plants I have. They have the fern-like leaves look to them. Anyway, that's a good plant if you like to grow it. Now, I've also heard that it could spread. It could spread very readily as well. So we'll see. I have plenty of space for it to spread around here, and I'm planning to keep it around this space only, and we'll see what happens from there. All right, the next plant I will gladly buy or plant again is this okra. I have enjoyed harvesting and eating the okra so much. I think every other day I would come out here and harvest 1 or 2, and it has been so nice seeing it grow. One thing about this plant is that it has an aggressive root, so the roots have made its way into the ground. That's why it's been growing so well, because all that thickness this container would not be able to support. I've been interested in seeing how this plant grow. So what it does, it would bloom, and then you would get the fruit, and then it would shoot up a little higher and would do the same thing, bloom, produce the fruit. So every time that it does that, it gets higher and higher. So the cycle repeats. And that's why it has grown so big, so tall. I would like to buy at least 3 next year if I'm not able to grow it from seeds. The reason I would like to get at least 3 plants is so that I could freeze some of them for storage and have them during the winter, because with just one, we only have enough to enjoy during the growing season, but nothing for storage later in the winter. So if you have not grown okra before and you had the same kind of feeling that I had with growing okra, so the feeling I had was that it would get aggressive, it would grow out of hand, Please don't be. It's not going to do that at all. I've seen it this year. It's just going to grow very nicely for you. And if you don't save the seeds, of course, you're not going to get okra next year. I don't know if this is going to be a perennial, so we will see. I'm not sure. That's the one thing that I'm not sure about. But it'll be interesting to see if it does come back next year. If it's not, that'll be good because it means that it's going to be relying on us to save the seeds. All right, we are in the front garden right now and we're gonna look at this hosta. This is party streamers. The reason I bought this plant was because of the slender foliage, and it had done so beautifully. I have enjoyed seeing the beautiful foliage, and there was also some bloom, some purple bloom, so I am definitely planting this again. And if I could buy another one, I would buy another one, but I can always divide this later. I'm debating whether to plant this in the ground or not. I know a lot of my plants do better in the ground because in containers I don't always give them what they need. But regardless, all I did was just water everything that was here, and it has done beautifully. So in here I also have other hostas as well. So if you love different foliage structure to your hostas, this might be a good one to add because I have never seen hostas that look like this before, meaning the foliage. All right, we are still in the front garden. The next plant that I will buy or plant again is this Sempervivum Onyx. And I think I had one plant with little babies, and look at all the babies now. I know some of them, maybe a few of them may have died off. So I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 6 baby plants. 7 right there. And I love like succulents. I just love these plants so much. I love it so much that I went out and bought some more, the green ones. I did not see, I don't know if I saw another reddish one, but anyway, I got some of those, one container. That was just from one container, so I've able to get so many different green babies. Look at that. And that. So anyway, this proves to be very low maintenance. All I did was put it in a container, and I'm talking about these, with gravel. It does like very well draining soil, and the soil that I use, it's mostly, I wouldn't say mostly, like half of it is sand, so that helps with drainage. And also I have gravel on the top as well. And I'm not sure why it's closing off like this. When I researched, it mentioned that it could be under stress. So the only stress I could think of would be the heat. But you can see that the baby ones are doing good. So I don't know. Maybe it needs some more food. I have no idea. All I know is that it's been closing off like this for a while now. But the baby ones are not doing bad. They're opening up. So who knows? But it is under some kind of stress. So if you have experience with this and if you could help me out, that would be great. And thank you in advance. So you can see that all the other ones seem to be doing really good except for the mother one. The next plant I will gladly buy or plant again would be this Stonecrop or Sedum plant. If you recalled, I bought one plant. It was a clearance $10 container plant with different sedums in there, some mixture of sedums. So this is one patch, and I was able to divide them or divide one pot of plant into several clumps. This is one clump. You have, I believe this is donkey tail or donkey tail like sedum. I'm not sure what this is, but you can see that it is thriving. Here is another patch. This one mostly has the donkey tail like sedum. That one, this patch is doing beautifully as well, and it also has this kind of sedum as well. So both of these are doing beautifully. Another small patch right there. I have another small patch right here. This one could have been bigger if it's not been shaded by the lemongrass. Another patch. I feel like in my space here, I cannot go wrong with having sedums. They are low maintenance, and give them 2 or 3 years, they should fill up a good size space really well. So if you're looking for a ground cover that is low maintenance, sedums might be a great choice for you. All right, so the next plant that I will gladly buy and plant again would be this creeping thyme. This is called Thymus, Praecox, Coccineus. I'm pretty sure I butchered that. This one started off very tiny, like something like this. And I was worried that this was not going to take, but I came out here and water it on a regular basis for at least 2 weeks or longer. And this one has outperformed the other bigger clumps. And the reason that is because it is not shaded by the lemongrass like the other two. So look at that. This is a good at least 2 feet this way and 2 feet the other way. Don't you just love this? Look at that. It is creeping over this rock so beautifully. I wish I had more rocks so I could see that beautiful creeping tapestry there. If you like this type of ground coverage and you have like a rocky area, it loves it. So let's look at the other two. This started off as the biggest patch, but over time it has been shaded. So I'm going to come here and take care of the lemongrass very soon. And there's another patch right here somewhere. There it is. So it's not doing bad. It's just not growing as fast as the one that's not shaded by the lemongrass at all. All right, I am hoping I have not forgotten any of the plants. So we are down to the very last plant that I will buy and plant again, and that is the purple Phlox. So let's go at the hillside garden. Here it is. This is one patch. So one plant that was divided into two. This is one clump of it, one division, and I was worried, but I kept watering it for a good 14 days or so. And that's a good thing for you to remember. If it's a new plant, you want to keep on top of watering for at least 2 weeks or even longer. I would say for the first month would be ideal. this one right here. This is a bigger patch. So with all the yellow plants around here, such as sunshine ligustrums and the Chamaecyparis and the blue star juniper here, it is going to look so beautiful when this blooms in the spring. The purple will complement these different color plants really well that are around it. Now, one thing about the phlox, the creeping phlox, that you should be aware is that it can grow very fast. I'm not sure if it's fast. It just seems fast to me. I would put it in the medium category, that it could spread on you, and it forms a thick mat. It's almost like a nice grassy mat of phlox. So, but the interesting thing is that weeds still grow through it, like the oxalis and some grass as well. It forms a dense mat, so when you do want to plant something, it might be harder to, to dig. But if you were to, say, with your shovel, just go in a horizontal way and just dig it through, because it's not a deep rooted plant. It's very shallow, so you can just go and just scrape the top layer where its root system is. You can get most of it out. So that's an easy way, instead of just trying to pull like each section at a time like this. It doesn't work as well, and that's what I have come to notice. I have to say that I have enjoyed seeing these plants, seeing how they have grown, and able to determine whether they are plants that I would like to plant again or buy again for future years or not. And also, I hope that you have found this video helpful as far as seeing what these plants could do in your own garden. As mentioned, every garden is different because there are different factors with gardening, but at least you have a good idea of how these plants are performing for me. And I'm a very low maintenance gardener as well. I do have a lot of plants, and I'm the only one that takes care of these plants. So I need plants that are low maintenance, that are not going to require a lot of work. There's a few plants that do require work that I don't mind putting in the work, but for the most part, I need the plants to be low maintenance. So I hope that this video has been enjoyable for you as well. So until my next video, I hope you take care. Bye for now.